Uno! Let's go!
The fight for Tokyo comes down to this single day, and the pressure in EMEA is at an absolute breaking point. Footy Esports and Humble have locked in their tickets, but behind them, 6 teams are fighting for one last direct world spot and the chance at the last chance qualifier. This is the monthly final of 2026. There are no second chances. My name is Sunny, alongside Ark and a very special guest who has his name etched in Brawl Stars history. 2019 world champion turned content titan, and while his reflexes might have aged like fine milk, his brain is as wrinkly as ever. Sven, it's great to have you.
Thank you. I'm besides a fellow Unkrat here, so I kind of blend in pretty well.
We've all got wrinkles going on here.
Gentlemen, with a season-ending elimination on the line in this quarterfinals already, who do you think has the most to lose today?
Oh, I mean, where to start in EMEA, honestly? I mean, this is probably, in my opinion, the one region that has the most potential evolving storylines. I mean, for FAU Kumala Zavesta, they have got a amazing opportunity, because they've got to get past the number 1 seed, which will be locked. But FAU Esports will go to the World Finals as the number 1 seed no matter what happens today. If they can get past that first round, the rest of the bracket, it could be the grand finals early. For Reply Totem, they've made the World Finals. It's just about seeding when it comes down to things. But for Big, for Navi, for Heretics, this is a huge, huge day.
As you said, there's so many storylines, there's so many potential upsets. It's a little bit unfortunate, as you mentioned, that Kuma has to face the Titan of Foot. But there's always room for an upset, and especially when there's so much on the line, maybe that might give Kuma a little bit of an edge.
There's 2 reasons why we see a couple of new faces in the August monthly final. Once, Novo, unfortunately, didn't make it into this monthly final, so a lot of those teams now have a chance to snatch away their tickets to Worlds. The other one, we have challengers happening, 12.
It's a little bit unfortunate, as you mentioned, that Kuma has to face the Titan of Foot. But there's always room for an upset, and especially...
LAN event this year, Ark. If you look at these teams, how do you feel will they do? Do you have a favorite in mind?
Honestly, I don't know what to expect when it comes to challenges, honestly. I think there's some incredible teams from all around the world, but this is the first time that we've done it. So, I feel there's a great opportunity. I mean, certainly for a team like SK Gaming, right, who didn't have the best of seasons in the main BSC league, for them to go out of challenges, to get to LCQ, to maybe have that Cinderella story run into the World Finals would be absolutely incredible. Similar to kind of like FA Kuma today with Lena, a player who's been on as many rosters as I can count, various teams over the years, in just this 1 year. He could make a stellar run and still make Worlds despite his misfortunes at the beginning of the season.
So teams like SK Gaming aren't even here today. They decided to go for challengers instead. And this is going to shape up our leaderboard today and change it quite heftily. Novo is not here today. Otherwise, they could have had the chance today to lock in that World Finals spot, Sven.
The storyline in the monthly qualifiers was Talent Labs beating Novo quite early on in the upper bracket, and then Novo versus Reply Totem in the loser grand final. It was absolute cinema. It was crazy. And now Novo just have to sit at home and just hope that these situations don't unfold, and I would not want to be in their position, because honestly, Kuma are looking great, and as we see here, there's only 1 ticket left. And there's so many teams fighting for it. Some of them have a harder path than others, but at the end of the day, it's Brawl Stars. Anybody can win.
5 teams still fighting for one last spot to World Finals directly. They're under a lot of pressure today. Now, we want to have a quick look also how we think today is gonna go. I'm super excited to see if my fellow casters said the same thing, and it does look like we're pretty aligned.
I would say that maybe Smooth didn't flip a coin today, simply because the matches that follow on seem to be kind of in line. And I rate it. I don't think that for esports are a guaranteed victory in that set. They are still looking, to me at least, like the number one seed, regardless. I think they've had one of the most consistent runs that we've kind of ever seen in an EMEA season of the BSC. I feel like, going into the World Finals, very curious to see how Guess perform at LAN, as we can get to see him at the World Cup. But I think that is going to be a serious match. So they've been preparing really nicely. It's just like with these last minute roster changes, in the same way that I have reservations on Big today, having that last minute roster change going into the last monthly final of the year, there's risk attached to that.
Whether you out there agree with us or not, you can get rewards by locking in your predictions over at eventthepolstars.com. There's a pin at the very end, as you can see here. The rewards are also going to change up again next weekend, so make sure to lock in your predictions today and next weekend, eventthepolstars.com. By the way, we still have a couple of tickets as well. World Finals is where it's at. All of these teams are trying to lock in that golden coveted ticket they were fighting for all season long. And you can get there without having played a single time. You might not be able to play on stage, just like fellow ex-pro player over here. You might be looking...
Ox played on stage once before as well.
I've played with you on stage. Yeah. We won the Invitational in 2019.
That's what you've got going for you on your CV.
I beat what was it, a shield? Big Coup d'Ace,
Really?
I've got some serious things for my CV.
Amazing. Sure, that happened, totally. But you can still get some tickets. There's still a couple of tickets left for the World Finals. For our community team today, we have FUT Esports. Now, the first month we did this, it was a complete curse last month. More often than not, the community voted teams to watch were actually doing fairly well.
I think when the community choose to have a team be the team to watch, we curse it. It happened yesterday in East Asia. It's happened all throughout the season. But this is one where I don't know whether that curse is going to be the same. I feel like FUT Esports at the moment are certainly not just the team to watch, but the team to beat in EMEA.
FUT Esports, the indisputable number one seed in EMEA, are going to kick us off today against FA Kumala Savesta. They just don't get a lucky bracket. Every single month, Kuma has some of the best teams in EMEA against them. Still, they are in contention for an LCQ slot. Do you have a little bit of a roster swap now? Mine decided to play in challenges with a different roster, so they picked up Lena. And this is his third time where he was a last-minute sub. He's also playing against his former teammates from the Brawl Cup.
I feel like that's his time to shine, right? Like we've seen in Brawl Cup how, even myself, I doubted him a little bit. I know that the FUT roster was insane. I was like, wow, adding this short edition, they beat Crazy Raccoon, they beat Zeta. Insane. And they almost, with Kuma, with Lane substituting in, they almost upset Humble in the monthly qualifiers. So you know that it actually works. They have a fighting chance. And as you see, the circle of Lane, it's constant. Every year we've been talking about it, but this guy is so talented. Why is nobody picking him up?
It's been a tough year for roster changes, isn't it, in terms of who is even available. Whereas Lanal has always been present and always pulling in the goods. Specifically for me at Brawl Cup, I think that he did a really incredible job coming into the final hour for FUT Esports to get them to a grand final. I didn't see it coming, to be completely honest. And to be able to now be in a position to take things into his own power and have his literal destiny be decided by himself. If he's able to defeat the very team that he was able to bring to that grand finals at World Cup today, and then maybe go all the way, he could still make worlds by his own doing.
Others are collecting post stamps or postcards from our LAN events. In-game pins. Lena is collecting player jerseys out there. He must have had more teams than any other player that we have in the BSC. These are the maps that we're going to play today. Kuma got to pick first. They decided to go with Open Business, then Out in the Open, Pit Stop Hideout, and Pinhole Punt is our random decider. Many of these maps we've seen just yesterday in East Asia. How do you expect the meta to have evolved already? We had balance changes this Wednesday. And how is it going to differ compared to East Asia, Sven?
So I think it'll be fairly similar, to be honest. After looking at and analysing the metas, they are quite similar. Let's see by the global bans on the screen. Bolt being banned out by FUT, which nobody wants to see Bolt, right? But the thing that I was talking to Ark about it, teams were not banning roughs against Foot. It's like this is literally the brawl about Foot play. No matter what, you can't counter Nob on the roughs. You just can't. And then going into the map selection, which you seen just before that, I'm a little bit confused by Kuma's map selection because you've got Open Business, which is Foot's literal favorite map.
Ouch!
And and then
Look at this poll.
they also pick Pit Stop, which is Foot's favourite map as well. So they're literally picking their opponent's favourite maps. You've got the vote there, which is nearly 100%. They've got so much going against them.
3%. That is one of the most dominant showing we had in one of the votes. Yesterday we had a vote that was only 2% for Fennel. 3%, almost there. You guys are being harsh this weekend, honestly.
But I think it's kind of warranted at the same time. I mean, Foot Esports have won a grand final in every monthly final in this summer split, and prior to that also. I think if they had Guesty, would have probably gone all the way overall, in my opinion. It's hard to say because it'd be Guesty's first appearance, but I think that would be the case. I also feel like, to be honest, like when it comes to maps, that first map, although it is one of Foot's strongest ones, they did practice it a lot. I think from memory, 12 instances to which they won. So I'm looking forward to this first map.
Last monthly final of the summer split, last monthly final of the season, and we're going to start out on Open Business.
Sunt aici, guys. Dacă vă întrebați, sunt aici în spatele camerei. Nu vă speriați că nu sunt aici, sunt aici. Aveți întrebări, scrieți-le în chat. Vă răspund cu mare drag.
Foot, the undisputed number one in EMEA, Kuma, that are still looking to get some points towards that LCQ slot they're looking at the moment. We have the band in already. Meeple, Stu, and Lumi band out by the side of Kuma. They do have the first pick. And on a map like this one, you want some area control, you want some damage. So Griff, definitely a good first pick here.
I was trying to pick out some holes in the band selection, but I think most of them have just been covered. Like, they've removed the Grey. They don't want to face off against what we saw in East Asia yesterday. The Grey-Ems combination is just so hard to counter. So when you go into Griff, you've got, Meeple is banned out. I was going to suggest that. They do love the Finks, though. Foot, no matter what, they love going Finks into any matchup. And then I wouldn't be surprised with a Mina. Mina is a great counter to Griff. And especially, okay, Crow. The Crow's not a brawler, but I've not been seeing too often recently. With the recent balance changes, just have a good matchup into a Griff. But now they need a little bit of zone time. Like, yeah, Crow stays in the middle, but he's not got the most health. They need someone to push up and make aggressive plays. It's very predictable, Angel Boy and Mina, right? And we've even seen in his YouTube videos recently. Make sure to watch them, by the way. They're goated. He's been posting ranked content out there. He's been explaining that Mina is so good into Griff. So surely we're going to see it, right?
I want to see bros like Max be sort of highly valued here. I think as well, Sirius is definitely one for Kumala Vesta that they like to bring in. Edgar, I think, is definitely up there. Sirius, yeah. I think like you've got to be a bit cautious with the Edgar open. I mean, Ems could also be an option here, but another brawler which is sensible to Edgar. I just want to see whether that might be on the minds here of Kumala Vesta. I think maybe Barry. I'm curious as well with this region how Damien is faring currently. We saw it drop up a little bit.
Nu, sunt aici, guys.
Still get some good results. I know you've got your reservations on that.
Sunt curios cine va câștiga acum, pe cuvântul meu, dacă nu sunt curios cine va câștiga. Acum, nu, știți foarte bine că echipa mea preferată este Totem, cum ar veni, dar, hopa, acum am ales echipa lui Yagaki, să vedem să susținem singurul român care a ajuns la finals. Acum sper doar să câștige. Aveți întrebări? Spuneți-ne fără nicio problemă. Vă voi răspunde.
Into the series now with a last pick available, are we going to see the Damien? Are we going to see the Mina? Are we going to see something that can create some pressure onto the opponents? Because now you can't go more control because the Edgar is thrown out.
It could be Damien, but the Griff worries me a little bit in that regard. But often when we see this early series pick, it's a lot to do with the idea that the opposition therefore can't consider Damien, and they can just kind of pair it in that third and final pick instance. But again, like there could be other ideas. I'm curious how this Crow's going to fare as well. Just going forward, got the flashes, but definitely always been a very, very solid brawler in terms of the meta. Yeah, Crow, we didn't see at all. Like I'm still on the sort of fence as to whether that buff has really done too much to Crow. I was surprised to see that we didn't see barely any of it yesterday. So So looking forward to seeing how it will fare post-nerf.
Everything on the line here for the side of Kuma. They win the monthly finals today and they can lock in the world final spots. They at least win the quarterfinals and they have a chance at LCQ. This match is so important for them and it's guest seat number 1. I'm excited for this one.
Let's kick it off then. So open business. Again, this map was like, wow, put it up against Foot. How are you going to beat them at their own game here? Now the middle interaction is going to favour Pro quite heavily, I believe, in this first interaction. Edgar's going to jump in pretty early. Lenar picks up 1 kill already, but into Chester, he's definitely going to face this matchup there. Chester, we've not been seeing too much in this meta. Honestly, one of the least played brawlers right now in the meta since his recent nerfs. But into Edgar, he has a perfect matchup. Lenar opting to use hard landing there to confirm the kill onto Crow. And this is quite a 50-50 matchup so far, but now Foot starting to establish a bit of control.
Okay, well, Lenar on the right-hand side, starting to lurk around here. Next, trying to chop up Angel Boy, getting consecutive shots. Now jumping in, Angel Boy jumping over. Does avail to a trade. Not down the right-hand side, moving to an aggressive stance. It's a nice bomb connection now with the Dompe as well. That's going to be healing up into the mid. That time warp can be... Ooh, but there's no extend there, I'm surprised.
Yeah, he didn't really need to go in and die there, but Lenar is trying to go for Getsy. Getsy barely stays alive. Nob already getting his hypercharge with Chest. Is going to opt to keep it for now because he knows if he uses it onto the things, he can just teleport back. Nob uses his super onto Lenar as well. And looking serious, he's built so many clones. This is looking perfect for Foot.
Yeah, Getsy is building an army for sure. Oh, that's a great hypercharge there from Nob. And Dompe cannot push into that. Cannot risk his being cycled. Hypercharge available for Lenar. Angel Boy has also his. The lead now extending in favour of Foot. Past 80% mark now as well. And Lenar in a perilous position on his right-hand side. He's actually wasted the hypercharge too. It's a team wipe for Foot. And a very convincing first game today.
Yeah, I mean, to begin with, it was a little bit dicey. You could see that there's so much on the line. Both teams were just trying to eye each other out, see which which team would actually draw first blood. But as the game went on, you've seen that Sirius could build up his clone. Would have his hypercharge super as well.
Acolo n-am înțeles, adică de ce ai luat Edgar? Adică ok, bun, bine ăsta, dar totuși ce ai luat de Edgarul?
It's that normally when I open up the map, and I just feel like Foot know Griff's playstyle so well. And as you see, the great takedown from Nob already. Ness is low as well, and Dompe just hasn't really got enough in him in his kits to really impact this game.
Yeah, lacking in firepower. Lenar as well getting aggressed and bullied on this top left-hand side here. Had a 68 HP and Nob will finalise that kill quite comfortably. So again, Angel Boy already having Super 2 can afford to go the aggressive. Getsy tapping again consistently, building up that army as we speak. And at the moment, Kuma really struggling as everyone falls. That's going to put a bit of a stop to the objective. But in that time that was spent on the zone, Foot were able to establish 42%.
Yeah, at this point, it's how do Kuma come up with a plan to win this game, especially as Sirius builds up these clones. Lenar is facing a really tough composition here. He's going to jump in onto Crow, manages to find the kill, but that's about the only brawler can really confirm kills on pretty easily. Now Ness can establish a little bit of control, forced back by Nob with Super. Angel Boy jumps in straight away. They confirm the kill onto Lenar, but teleport back from Ness, manages to stay alive, but just barely clinging on. But they brought back so much percentage now.
Yeah, Ness did well there, despite being low HP to keep his distance, but now Getsy is punishing the action. Bringing forwards yet another shadow. Now Lenar's going to try to go on the aggressive, but it hasn't worked out so well this time round, however. It has. Trying to cycle, but again, Nob shuts it down. He can't seem to find the right timings to take care of it.
It's pretty hard with Edgar now, especially since the few nerfs that he received. It didn't impact him a lot. I don't envy his position whatsoever right now. Hypercharge being blocked by Nob, that's going to be affected by things as Super though. Now they're going to establish some control. Just Nez in the back pocket here. He's trying to find one kill. Angel Boy's pretty weak. If he could confirm that kill, that would have been great. But now the Hypercharge comes out from Getsy. Look at how tanky these clones are. Another takedown onto Lenar. It takes forever for him to build up his Super. And with the Let's Fly nerf, Foot are now running away with things. I see no way back for them. Hypercharge is popped. One shot onto the zone as well, but it's just too much for Kuma to handle. Foot are just doing Foot things at the moment. They're playing with the food for the most part. It didn't really feel like at any point they would lose control in that situation. So, I mean,
Nah.
I did have like I said, about this match.
Nicio șansă, bro. Nah, nicio șansă. N-ai, no.
This is the one map I would say.
N-ai nicio șansă, bro. Feud-ul e prea bun.
I think for me as well, the series pick was they all struggled on the side.
Feud-ul e prea bun, bro.
As well, it's a really underrated thing that you can see the effectiveness of it. I mean, Nunn was not really able to dominate aggressive nearly as much as he would like to. Obviously, he was there. The job was so low in terms of HP, and that's stunning the kid that you roll the dice for Chester, and more often than not, you get something that's going to be valuable to use, especially in the game mode like Hot Zone, where everything that you're going to have in that back pocket is going to be helpful in some manner.
Well played by both, but Foot's doing Foot Esports things just like Spen said. They take this first set, 3% that went for Kuma. You need to be a little louder. I think they need to support out in the open now Foot Esports map pick. But as we have established over the course of the last few months, where we have introduced this map pick, more often than not, the teams actually are losing their map pick currently.
Ok, vine knockout.
Win rate from your own map. So maybe this is going to be the time where Kuma can strike. They have had some great showings over the course of this season. I feel like with the addition of Lana, they became even stronger. So I wouldn't be too surprised if they could have beaten many of these teams today, but Foot might just be a different beast.
Like I said, they've been so consistent all season long. That's the concern when it comes to Foot Esports. They've not really shown many, if any, weaknesses. As we move into out in the open, Pearl will be banned out here. My first pick personally on the side of Foot Esports here. So we go. Good to see the kit banned. You know, I think that's going to be really reserve it quite nicely. So Naj going to be the first pick for Foot.
I mean, as a first pick, I know that Darren and Kit are banned out, but surely this can be punished. I mean, Foot are the pros, they're the ones that are prepared for this, and you can never doubt them, right? But there are some holes in this, but this is the thing with Foot, right? Okay, they're going Nigel first, but they're probably baiting them out into something, because if you pick aggression too early, then Foot have another 2 responses to go. I mean, Surge is a banned out. We saw Surge not really work out too much into this. Leon is a great option into Nigel.
Leon.
The lollipop drop gadget, you've got the speed to combine
Okay.
with that. You need a bit of speed, you need a bit of aggression, because, I mean, Max isn't banned out as well. I wouldn't be surprised if you have Max and Leon and just run it down against this Nigeria.
For me personally, most importantly on Out in the Open is to get into the mid. On the left side, you can either go with the Watcher, Angela would still be left open for that, Eve potentially, or you just break open the map with Brock out of the way. Pearl would be a pick that I would still consider here. We saw a couple of times where Courageous was played against yesterday too, but I feel like Pearl is just in such a good position in the current meta. So good into anything aggressive when she is super available. And she would also be pretty good against the Leon, just with her burn gadget, making sure that they can
Bă, ăsta, cum să zic, Feud-ul singur va câștiga. Adică, no, va merge mai departe, da. Eu sunt curios la... Sunt curios la echipa lui Agaki contra Totem. Că practic doar ei a mai rămas român între ei, cum ar veni.
Which has definitely some very obvious weaknesses, but I think with the buffies now especially, the amount of utility that you can actually provide your teammate is like so strong. You just can't ignore it.
I was literally screaming 8-bit. I was like 8-bit against Leon, against Pearl. Pearl is going to get outranged by the Niger. 8-bit is going to also be a great counter to Pearl as well. Outranges, and especially once you get the turret. So now they're kind of hunkering down together here with the 8-bit being very defensive. Now they need something to maybe protect them or go aggro. Mina, Angel Boy, wow. I mean, still to this day, they're not banning the Mina. I know she received a couple of nerfs, but again, just watch Angel Boy's content. He's going Mina everywhere. He can win it into so many different matchups, and it's also got a great matchup into Pearl and Leon.
A match made in heaven, these two, Angel Boy and that Mina, something that I hope I will never have to face in my life, please. On the right side now, actually Starnova would still be left open. She did receive a couple of nerfs, but I still believe she is gonna be a mainstay in the meta for a little while longer. They opt for something with a bit more range instead. Spen doesn't look too happy about that Piper pick, honestly.
It's a bit 50-50, right? I mean,
don't be saying
you look Piper,
anything.
and it's good on this
No
map.
slander about
Just
Piper
because
today, please.
it's your favorite brawler, it's not necessarily a good pick. It's fine into the Naja,
It's a great pick.
but against the other two, she might struggle a bit. Spen.
it's just hardened to foot. Like, to play these brawlers that require so much skill and so much accuracy, and then you're playing it into a Mina that he's just going to run the rings around you the whole game. But I mean, Piper does have good matchup into both 8-bit and Nigel, so it's not like a horrible pick. It's just it's very risky for a team like Kuma, especially when the pressure is on them. Most of the time you want to go for more comfort picks. So I guess they've kind of got that with Pearl already. So you see Lennart already pushed up, and this is beautiful. This is how you play Leon, by the way. I think I seen Leon on this map before yesterday. You just need to be aggressive. Ness already getting tapped up. This is a great start for Kuma because this map is all about positioning. If they can gain positioning of the enemy bush, most of the time just end up winning anyways.
It's some great opening snipes from Ness. The problem with Piper here is already going to be that if the Mina pushes forward and then put esports get kind of in the back spawn, Dompe going to burn down here as well for poison, and now low HP as well. Oh, nice there from Angel Boy as well to seal it. And now what are you going to do? It's not probably you can 1v3 with. They can try and open up the map ready for the next round, but ultimately, get some good value, maybe some utility kind of come in early on to have something of a super to be able to evade some of this aggression that they're going to bring. But, it's very, very difficult in this map. This is one of the hardest maps to really come out of the spawn when you're pushed up in that kind of chokehold.
I was amazed how quickly Foot just did that. It was almost as if they baited them into it and then just took them down anyway. Guesty now has the snakes available. That's going to be a great option to use against the Piper. Nice, trying to be sneaky.
Found it.
How did he find him so easily? Now all of a utility. It takes forever to get a Leon super in this situation. Now we can look to push forward a little bit. Nob has to use extra credits. Snakes are being used because Nob is pretty weak. Now Angel Boy and Guesty are going to cover for them. Ness is so weak. Angel Boy misses his super. He's trying to get some combinations down. It doesn't matter. He's found his target onto Pipe and he's still going to get out. How is he still alive? Dompe's going to get pinched out easily. Now it's a 3 versus 2 situation. I don't see a way that Kuma can win this. That's insane. It's like the 8-bit was really weak, and normally as a team you retreat, right? They was like, nope, we're just going to take you 2 versus 3.
It's just like another league, isn't it? Like, Foot Esports are just like always one step ahead, it feels like it. You can draft into them, but it feels like they've already planned for every eventuality. I mean, the Naj is going to struggle against, going to be very good into the Piper as well, with the longer additional range. Like, Foot Esports can just stay more controlled and allow Angel Boy to go on the aggressive. The survivability of that man is just honestly absolutely cracked, and this lovely little 8-bit connections that Nova's getting off the gadget as well with the extra credits is just going to give them so much value to in the opening moments.
Now Guesty can push up as well. With Nigel, you can peek around the corners. Guesty's going to get so weak. And as we spoke about before, with an 8-bit composition specifically, you need to try and punish it before he gets his turret, because once he gets one, he's just going to cycle it through. Extra credits get so much good value on this map as well. Everyone's grouping up in the bush. Now with extra credits with the Buffy is going to connect onto multiple brawlers. Ness going to get really weak here with the poison as well. And it just feels so comfy to Foot. They've got such a good setup. Dompe's going to burn down Nob a little bit. Angel Boy is going to get pinched out though. Incredible snipes from Ness. That is just a great situation to be in if you're Kuma.
Yeah, sneaky work from Lanam, and the best chance here for Kuma to get an advantage. Good taps into Nob, and that's great work from Ness. And they should be able to still now Guesty and get a nice amount of utility for the next round. Break open some of those bushes as well from Ness. It's a really nice setup there for Kuma, but they've struggled so far. That's the first opening door. Let's see if they can turn it into a game.
Trying to see how Leon sneaks in here. Like, where is his free kill? I think the only thing that Lennart can really do is just pressure at this point. Ness is going to snipe down Nob. Just actually take about half of his health there since the recent damage buff from Piper. She's just a hefty amount. That's why you've seen her a little bit more often. But they're just playing the slow game. They know they have to just wait around Nob to get his super. Lennart waits for his gadget. He's going to push in. Ness has to fall back though. He's been tapped by Guesty. Guesty keeps landing these shots so frequently onto Piper. Angel Boy's going to have to retreat a little bit here. Now Lennart opts to use his super. He's trying to find somebody, but they know he's sneaking. They've got the turret to save them as well. Angel Boy knows that Lenena's overextended. He's going to get the pinch out. Dompe misses his gadget as well. Now with the 8-bit extended.
Dacă aveți întrebări, sunt aici. Puteți pune orice întrebare.
Into the gas. He knows he doesn't want to feed any more supers. Wow, this is Foot's to lose at this point.
Yeah, in a way, that break of the bush is kind of backfired because Lenan really kind of wants to utilize that to be able to be sneaky and to be able to do the first round twice and just get that first opening kill and make it that 3 versus 2. And Foot Esports were able to kind of keep the control on the bottom right-hand side. Hypercharge available for Ness. I haven't really seen too much from Dompe yet in this round. We've kind of seen more. There's a nice connecting gadget there onto Angel Boy, who will burn Safe and sound that bottom right yet again, waiting for Nog to get set up. And this is where Foot really thrives, just keeping that control, staying back, utilising that the distance of that Naj. Now the hypercharge coming in as well. It's just too much for Kuma to be able to take a look at that. Ness going to eat up every single one of those danger noodles, and a very comfortable set yet again, going the way of Foot Esports.
I don't envy Kuma. This is why I retired. How do you beat teams like this? It's just, they're perfect. We've got perfect synergy, perfect draft, perfect mid-set adjustments. It's like they just know everything about the game. It's insane. And honestly, I had higher expectations of Kuma. I mean, it's a roster that's put together quite last minute, but they've been performing well in scrims. They've performed well in the monthly qualifiers leading up. And so far, I'm yet to see any true signs of a fight.
I mean, you can retire then, or you just become like some. How about that? I must say, if you're not a fan of Kuma already, after what they showed us in the past monthly finals, I definitely became one after what we've seen in after a little small tournament here in the EMEA, the Global League. Especially Dompe really shines in moments where he has to clutch, usually. Now, Pearl is not exactly a clutch brawler. I did, however, like how Kuma as a total played together whenever Ness was low, Lana pushed up. They made sure that they always keep Foot under control, but then the slightest mistakes Foot can capitalize on, and that's what Sven meant. They're so good at, just making the impossible moments happen sometimes, where they just turn things around even if it looks like Foot is actually on the back foot. In the next moment they find a kill. Now Pit Stop is Kuma's pick, and we talked about it yesterday. It is one of the most scrimmed maps from Foot Esports. They absolutely love this map. Kuma scrimmed it even more often, so don't give up hope just yet.
It's also the biggest coin flip map, though, isn't it? Which is kind of where
Salutare.
going with the bands here, the Buzz, the Miko as well as the Carl.
Hai, până să alegi să mai vorbim și noi. Ce faceți, guys?
We're going to take away your defense and go with like a Melody or a shotgun. Melody, I think, would be the best ball to kind of make work, or something really tanky like a ball. I think would be kind of right up and down the street here. Definitely as well, is Kit open? Kit is open.
Bă,
I think
deci,
the Carl being banned
cum asta va pierde în total, adică n-are nici... Asta e ultimul meci. Deci dacă și bă ăsta îl pierd, e gata, Feuty a câștigat. Dar bă, Feuty-ul câștigă, e normal că Feuty.
Is a map down the years. I would know best, right?
Da, mă, Darius. Cum?
It's just made so many rules, and especially with the buffies at first. Okay, maybe he's received some nerfs, but with Bouncy Castle and with Robo Retreat as well, with those new buffies, he's actually pretty strong.
Stai un pic.
So what do you go with here? Now you need. I mean, Rico's actually into
mai arată oare sau...
multiple launches. You could just pop that gadget, stand still, and defend really easily.
Oleu! Oleu, după altul.
As well. And the kit. What does that go to say? They're very happy with this draft.
I think so too. Shade, so good on a map like this one. Kid, yesterday was used sometimes also to defend. On the other side, we have the Surge to do just that. Usually, Kuma loves to play Kaze.
No, și-a luat bătaie, Kuma. Nicio șansă. Da, nicio șansă. Ăsta are palet în spate. Are palet în spatele camerei, adică spatele lui. What?
We're very right, so super happy with that.
They are just like happy to see it, which is crazy to me. Like
am crezut că vom râde și la...
They are literally smiling.
Uite, mă!
They are feeling like they've got it under control.
Mă, ăsta n-a fost cumva la Feuty?
And they're already feeling good about this.
It could backfire, but it's fun. It's like
nu ăsta, stai.
I mean, Bull in the past used to be able to do okay into Lulu.
Nu mai contează.
But how is he going to get this hypercharge? That is the problem, right? It's going to take so long for him to get it, and you just see it on their comfort corners, right?
Adică ăsta cu Surge, Lenine. Asta mi se pare că a fost la Feuty, dacă nu mă înșel. Hai, Feuty, nu mă dezamăgiți, vă rog. Eu, ca să înțelegeți, am ales Feuty-ul. Stai să am ăsta mai tare, să-l auziți și voi.
That's not really going to work out too well, because that's nearly 2 cracks gone already.
Yeah, fantastic start here for Kuma. Put behind, aims winners get some
Runda
swipes
următoare.
here from the safe.
Fuuu.
Time between the safe and Lenan there. Gets a jump out, but meanwhile, there's a big push
Runda
coming in
următoare.
here.
Bă,
There's only
sincer,
really
nu
CEO
știu.
defense. There's a lot of
N-am
different
nicio
people
idee.
on that
Adică
side.
ori
Still not
totem,
gonna connect, now not coming in.
ori...
I mean, it's a race that I don't think Puka win.
Yeah, I mean, it's once you get nearly
Ori
a two
echipa lui
bracket
Agaki.
start. How are you able to defend this? Great plays there.
No! Fiut, ce
They just
naiba
did
fac?
something that Foot didn't predict, and like I said, it could have backfired.
Asta a fost la Fiuti ăsta. Stai un pic, că nu...
It can get to you, but at the same
Nici
time,
nu știu dacă mă aud.
overall game strategy there from.
Și dacă îmi pun căștile, nu o să se audă nimic. Deci, bă, ăla au fost la Fiuti.
It could be the most insane reverse sweep ever, but I think Foot will have a run in.
Eu zic, nu știu, e runda următoare, nu știu, dacă era Agaki, sincer, dacă era Agaki, sincer, cred că îl băteau pe totem. Dar așa a rămas doar ei, nu știu ce să zic. Și eu am ales TLB-ul, dar nu știu, habar n-am. Nu știu cine va câștiga. Adică ăsta zi... Hai, Guesti, hai. Ai, bă. Ai, bun acolo. Bun acolo. Hai că e ok, hai că... No, nu-i bine. Bun, dă-i. Ai. Bun, hai că au revenit. Hai că au revenit. Sper. Wipe the slate clean and get to the second draft. It can really help here, but they just don't seem too deterred by it. Se aude? Sau să dau volumul mai tare?
The whole year is on the line here, but it's against Foot. They really need to pull the best gameplay they've ever produced right now. Ness is going to go on the offensive. Dompe's doing a great job on the Rico, by the way. He's a little bit earlier this time around. I think what people realize this time around is that Foot can just rotate between offense and defense. They all have capabilities there. Great job on Dompe there. That's going to confirm the kill.
No, Angel Boy, îmi place de Angel Boy. Să-mi bag picioare dacă nu. Îmi place de Angel Boy. Uite-te mă ce îi face. Uite. Na, poftim. 50, a luat 50% din safe. Până când colegii lui apăreau în spate. Insane. Bine acolo, dă-i. Ouch. Oleu. Hai că e ok. Dacă mai reușești odată Angel Boy să meargă, va lua. Sau acolo nu. Hai să vedem. Bine, mă. Mamă, ce i-au bătut la 3-0. Adică stai, că e 2-1, pardon. Adică 3-0, cum ar veni. Bine, azi dictat. Bine, Fiuti. Bun. Și acum, cum să zic, Kuma îi gata. Putem lua la revedere. De la Kuma. Practic ăsta e ultima lună.
just seemed like it was just on point. Like they just have every trick in the book, it seems.
Last time those two teams faced up against each other in the grand finals of April, it looked like it could be this
Salut!
complete rosters month.
I-au ars, bă, i-au ars.
They beat Navi in the semis.
N-am ce zici, au ars-o.
Then they meet the foot. Makes it a clear cut.
Au făcut-o, bro.
Them back then already and now again today. It is truly heartbreaking. Kuma came in this year as one of the
Mamă, 5!
their first monthly final ever. They already showed
Wow!
it is heartbreaking how Sven
Bă, voi vedeți? Uite,
have lost their only chance at
ce damage a dat pe safe. Ai de capul meu. Angel Boy a fost MVP-ul cum ar veni. Bun. Aici, din păcate, bun. Și acum oprim un pic aici să vorbim. Bă, nu știu ce să zic de meciul acesta. Totem cu Talent Slab. Fiindcă e 50-50 acolo.
By any more rosters is tough for him, right? But Nez has so much potential. Dompe.
Deci competiția se joacă acasă, dar nu la turneu deocamdată. Păi ăsta este, cum să zic, stai, cum te numești? Catnap. Este ultima lună, cum ar veni. Practic, aia este ultima șansă a acestor jucători, echipe cum ar veni, să se califice. Știi?
Well,
Yeah, it's great to be on.
Okay.
It's great to start the day off with -1 on predictions. Yeah, but it happens. I think Lena
Bă, aici e 50-50.
will certainly find yet another team
Deci, ca să înțelegi, este ultima lună de calificare.
it's in the postseason or in 2027.
yeah, I'm not too sure if rosters are locked or not.
Mama, au ales totem toți. Acum, uite. Eu sunt aici și pe site și este 51% și 49%. Acum sperăm, eu sper ca, nu știu, sper ca ăsta să câștige cum ar veni. Acum să facă performanță ei. E singurul român care e pe ăsta, mă. E singurul. Că din păcate Agaki s-a dus. A fost banat. Dar măcar au reușit să-l ducă în ăsta. Uitați, dragi prieteni, aici este un cod QR care vă duce direct pe site-ul de unde vă puteți lua bilete pentru Japonia. Și-a luat bani de la competiție o lună, cum ar veni, adică practic luna aceasta. Dar din păcate luna aceasta este ultima lună de calificare. Și da, anul viitor va juca. Uitați echipele. Uite-l pe prietenul nostru, ei. Uite-l aici. Uite-l. Asta e Joker. Team sponsor. Uite-l pe Maru. Hai mă, arată-l și pe Mauri. Joker. Dar Mauri? Stai un pic. Mauri, ăsta e Joker, nu este lângă ceilalți, adică lângă Maru. Voi observați că el este acasă, cum ar veni? Uite-l. Ei doi, Mauri și Maru. Sunt în ăsta, cum ar veni. Bă, nu știu, aici e 50-50, frate. Dacă era Agaki, câștigau, cu siguranță câștigau Talent Slab-ul, dar așa cred că totemul va rupe.
Again, it seems to be the favorite heist map of EMEA. Out in the open, layer cake to willing peoples to follow things up. Again, talent lab.
Poate nu au vrut să meargă la ei. Cine? Joker?
Is not here today. Novo, that was sitting in that fourth world final slot, is now looking at this monthly final, hoping for every one of their opponents to lose.
Yeah, they take Schadenfreude to a whole new level. This is the time where you sit back, you have some popcorn and
Ok, deci avem
anxiety medication because you don't know
leaderboard-ul
who's chasing behind you. Yes, one of them got
aici.
kicked out, Truma is out, but big
Bă,
Na'Vi and
poate, probabil că n-a putut ajunge și ca să nu piardă timp, cum ar veni, a pornit de acasă, cum ar veni, știi? Că doar ei sunt echipă.
Situation is still pretty difficult, but it can happen. And as you alluded to,
Și, no.
kind of hate watching it. You really want these you want these teams to go down because
lose.
and that, but at the same time, it's like there was so much pressure in
Bă, nu știu ce să zic, bă, frate.
they lose in that upper bracket.
Deci dacă va câștiga Talent Slab,
Totem were just like, oh, we're just gonna book our world finals.
voi fi fericit. Dar dacă nu a câștigat Talent Slab, voi fi supărat rău. Că știți bine că eu țin, echipa preferată este Repli Totemul.
No matter what. And we spoke about this with Gessi, right? That's how we got good. With Team Electros, that's how they got good. Grinded and
Doar că nu, acum dacă am văzut că este un ei, am zis hai să țin cu echipa lor, să vedem dacă ce știu, cum ar veni.
We're gonna find out very, very soon. Reply Totem on the other side. Guess who's the second reason why Novo isn't here? Also beat Novo in the qualifiers. So both of them had sealed Novo's fate in this.
Mamă, Global Banu. Oi de leu. Deci, what the hell, ce banuri. Global Ban. Practic, TLB-ul a banat global Leon și Max și tot Max și Star Nova.
Final, though, a point where teams are getting a little bit more comfortable and EMEA
S-ar putea să fie, mă, că n-a putut ajunge Joker unde sunt, unde e Mauru și Mauri. Și, na, ca să nu întârzie, a pornit de acasă. Mă, da, vă dați seama câți bani câștigă ăștia? Deci câți bani câștigă echipele acestea?
What I want to have a look at now is
Mai de capul meu.
who is the winner of a Reply Totem versus Talent Lab? It's almost even. We get so many first times this month. Yesterday, a 2% versus 98% vote. Today, it's almost 50. I hope that means we get to see a 3-2.
Îmi place de ăsta, de prezentatorul ăsta, să-mi bag piciorul dacă nu. Uite-l, mă! Uite-l! Uite-l, mă, pe ei! Uite-l, mă!
Red may, have to relook at their campaign because surely Talent Labs is showing up for the first time. They should
Uite-l, mă!
be much popular.
Asta este... Da.
We get to see the players from Talent Lab now as well. Sandfire, by the way, in the German community is known.
Uite-l, mă! Uite-l. Mă, și vă-ți dați seama că are numai 16 ani? Bă, are 16 ani! Și a ajuns la... Wow! Are doar 16 ani ei.
Little Semantic. He looks like Semantic a couple of years ago. Ben, since you have played against him in earlier days, would you agree with that?
Mă, ce rău îmi pare, mă, că nu e aici la Agaki.
I wonder if he's got talent.
For the final one out of the way already.
Mamă, ce rău îmi pare că nu e aici și Agaki.
I'm hyped about that too. Whenever Piper comes in Arc, is that Gale is Kenny, he is.
Hai să vedem.
I really like that bowler. It's super strong with his speed gadget. Good on pinhole punt to just make sure you and your teammates can dodge it out a little bit better. You can break them.
Stai să dau să fie sincronizat așa.
Now,
Bun.
left and
Hai să vedem ce face băiatul nostru. Hai să vedem ce face băiatul nostru. Stai să dau... așa.
Super versatile pick, and yeah, Talent Lab, they are
Așa.
a little bit forced to go for this Crow selection. It's a bit more of the soft check there to the stew. I don't think it's an aggressive state anymore back in our day where we
Bă, deci mă supăr rău. Dacă nu câștigă TLB-ul, mă supăr de să-mi bag piciorul.
good. That's going to allow them to secure the mid control. I do think that they do need to develop something more aggressive yet apparently.
Like you said, I don't know whether the aggression right now is their play. I mean, I think late down the line, the last bit, we could go with an Ash, but we go with Kenji straight away. I mean, Kenji, a pinhole pun. is a great
Kenji.
option because even if you're not doing a lot of damage, you are
Uite pe
pushing
Joker.
to be aggressive. For Talent Labs to win this one, they need to be aggressive and try and make something happen. If you're just going to be playing the control game, you're not going to win against a seasoned team like Reply Totem. So now, for Reply Totem, they need an answer to this Kenji. But what do they have in their pocket?
Uite-l mă pe
I
Mauri.
really like Gale from when I've watched them in previous tournaments because Gale's a brawler where you can just easily scout the grass. You can literally pinch with yourself. So I wouldn't surprise them.
Grif.
Great
Ouch.
Yeah, very control. We saw this bowler before.
Au.
I like it. Rico is a bowler that
Vezi că Grif e bun.
this map. I really like him as well.
Vezi că
I like
Grif
the right
e
with Gale. I think
talent
that
aici.
Kenji specifically, they now have a grip, so maybe something aggressive. The Damien is something that they don't
Damian.
see often.
Și Damian e bun.
7% win rate,
Nu
by
zic
the
nu.
way.
Și Damian e bun.
It's bad actually, this demotion. That's great. Speeded too. Oh my god, I'm so embarrassed. Anyways, Damien as last pick. We saw it a couple of times yesterday. He has received nerf after nerf. Every single time we had that,
Mă, deci am înțeles că
he has been
aceștia doi din echipa TLB nu prea se înțelege cu ei, cum ar veni. Adică ei doi, acesta cu Kenshi și cu Sirius, nu se coordonează. Și ăștia, Mauri cu Maru și cu Joker se coordonează, bro.
with Mewtwo as a sub. Let's see what they can do today against a team that is already locked in for the World Finals.
Hai să vedem.
Here to play for Pride.
Haideți.
Well said, Sunny. Playing for Pride is what Totem are best known for, and also just
Mai ce presiune ai de capul meu. Fa!
is the first to fall, and this just might be an open goal for them.
Mai de capul meu ce presiune. Fai de mai.
To see this a lot in Pinhole Fun, people just run it down. If you think you've got enough health,
Fai de cap. Nu cred că au șansă, băieți, niciodată.
Fire is already really weak.
Niciodată.
Link just barely misses that one out with the free versus.
No.
This is a bloodbath so far. Wow.
Nici o șansă. Bag piciorul.
Position. Okay, they've got a bit of super.
Nu mă, se coordonează. Prea bine se coordonează totemul, bro.
31 second game. 31 seconds. That is how long it
Nici o șansă.
as you mentioned.
Mai bine alegeam totemul.
Of this Talent Lab plot is the
În puii mei. Nici o șansă. Fără Agaki echipa nu merge. Nu funcționează echipa. Nu se coordonează. Uite la ei, mă, nu se coordonează deloc.
if you like what Talent
N-ai cum.
realize that they can't really compete in the early game, but if they hide behind these walls, yeah, play a little bit slower, allow that serious to
No, nu știu, nici o șansă. Da. Sau? Hai că se poate, cred. Ce face ei? Nu, bă.
Sometimes Pro can actually survive that interaction, manages to get the kill though. Joe
Ha.
is a specialist at this point. Pro just only plays as Damien, but it's for good reason, because it works. And in these situations, you need a good aggressive player. So I think
Să vezi acum ce presiune să pună pe ei.
there's a little bit more onto Joko. Feed that super as much as possible. But on the defense here, Sunfire look for an option to break out. Which I was going to go
Ce fac, mă? De ce dau mingea acolo în spate?
Great super out from Sunfire.
De ce dau mingea în spate?
So, I mean, they haven't even considered the goal yet. That's an improvement.
Fiți atenți acum, presiune ce pun pe ei și s-au dus.
ticking time bomb for them. They are waiting for that Kenji hypercharge, which
Fii
is
atent.
online. It is committed to the
Pai!
Joker, and a great defense blocking out Maru from that goal as well. Talent Labs continue to hold this position, but Joker's gonna be jumping in there, going straight.
Ai de capul meu.
Denying all that shadowy value that he brings.
It was beautiful. It knocks back towards his teammates again. And now Totem in a 3-2 situation.
Nu se... Nu se coordonează degeaba. Degeaba, nu se coordonează, bro. Nu se coordonează, n-ai nicio șansă. Nu se coordonează niciun pic, bro. L-a băgat. L-a băgat. Deloc, nici ușa, n-au nimic, nea. Nu se coordonează, n-ai nicio șansă. Nicio șansă. Ia, poftim. Degeaba. Degeaba a sărit acolo ei. Sau, poate că mai au o șansă. Sau, hai.
Demolition. The first game is always the hardest, especially as a new roster, right? But you would have at least wanted.
Ce naiba, mă, nu se coordonează deloc. Ce asta, bă?
Pretty well considering it's into a Damon, constantly pushing him back. The composition, like I said, I mean, Sirius is good into Damon, but it's a very pushy map. If they would have gone with something aggressive, it's risky, right? It's risky.
Uitați-vă, aici l-a băgat în 10 secunde. În 10 secunde l-au băgat, mâncava și gura voastră.
What's the worst that can happen? Totem are going to outplay you the majority of the part. That's why they've already put their slot to the World Final.
Hai, mă, nu se coordonează deloc.
They came such a long way. A very rough start into the season, actually. Semi-final out for them, after that quarter-final out, and for April they did not
deloc, nu se
qualify.
coordonează,
It
n-ai
looked
cum,
like
n-ai cum
Totem
așa
was in
ceva.
shambles. We're not going to see Totem for the first time in ages at the World Finals. And now, already locked in, playing the August monthly finals, completely chilled, leaned back, and they look like they just rushed through the competition.
Mai bine aliceam totemul. Deși eu am vrut să țin cu TLP-ul, că nu. E un primul român, adică trebuia să fie 2, dar nu. Cum Agaki a fost banat, asta e. Dacă era Agaki, sincer, cred că îl băteau 100% echipa, totemul. Dar așa, nicio șansă.
On the other side, of course, for our storyline, if Talent Lab wins this one, it would be a very interesting
Așa, nicio șansă.
Interesting, but not really consequential for the postseason, if I'm gonna be real here. I mean, Totem, they are looking really mighty strong now. I think, as you've already mentioned, then spring splits, man, was a bit of a disaster for them. I think you and I spoke a little bit about how they were having some issues, for sure. I mean, even from the outside, you could tell that this was just not the Totem that we
Săracul Agaki s-a chinuit să ducă echipa în ăsta și cam bătaie. Cam bătaie și au. Ok, te pup.
Or just any ice map in particular. Joker always plays this brawler, and Kazi is such a hard brawler to play. Every time I watch him, like, how is he getting so much value every single time? Now,
La fel.
Labs,
Merci.
how do you approach this? You've got the kit that is often used, and you don't want the kit to synergize with his Kazi on this map because it seems like a good recipe, even though it's a little bit of a funky one, a little bit of an untraditional one. A lot of teams have been going it pretty recently, so I'd probably take that away from them. And then you need, I'm going to say a shade. Probably going to pair a kit and a shade.
I'm getting flashbacks here right now. Pit Stop, a map that we've seen today already. Quarterfinal number 1, it was Foot Esports playing Lumi, Shade, and Kit. Let's see if we're going to see the exact same now from Talent Lab. On the other side, we had Surge, Bull, and Rico. Kaze was banned out for Kuma, so they didn't really have a good follow-up to that Surge. I like these Kaze Surge comp a lot better, so let's see what they can do with it. Last pick now, first up there, and it's not going to be the Kit. That's a must pick now in my eyes for Reply Totem here, together with the Kaze. Such a good synergy, great at defending, even a Shade. Nita, of course, also has some great qualities. Whenever she has the bear available, Hyper Bear is gonna go a long way on save.
Două date ce cred că
I
Alix
think
mai
the
departe.
throw could be
Super
really
să nu te
good here,
verifici
right?
pe
Like
cont.
if you can
Dacă
limit the
Supercell
shade,
vede că
the
tu
Nita,
ai
the
cumpărat
Lumi, I
boost
think
sau ai dat
Berry is
boost
probably
sau
the
orice
best
altceva,
bet, I would
în trecut
say.
ți-l banează.
Like,
Asta
EMEA
din
pick?
copilul l-a
Yeah,
scos o
Oli,
lună de
because
zile.
mainly
Asta e
because I
ultimul
think
live și
they're
Spotify.
expecting this kit.
Cam eu
They
ceva finală de asta.
I feel like we all wanted to see a kit, but there's the Griff instead. I don't mind it. It has a lot of damage output. They play very defensively here though, with the Griff and the East.
This does not just make the
Da,
shape
ca să te la verificat.
ridiculously strong though. I mean, yes, you've got Biggie Bang, but there's unbreakable walls on this map that you can't break. And this is a very fast-paced map. It's going to take ages for them to break open the entire map and deny that much value away. But perhaps maybe they believe the surge is sufficient to check the shade, and that's why they think it's good.
It's just a decent counter.
Nota,
to
nota
Shade.
de la
I
Buffy.
think Griff is quite clear. There's a lot in Talent Lab's trap. It is Shade and Nita get kind of counter by the same. It's either wall break or throwers to limit them and limit their space. I mean, Joker already finds his way onto save. And now with Nita pushed up, there's no way for them to really defend it. I mean, Lumi can be half decent into Kaze, but Kaze's got so much mobility. She can dash in and out of Ye's attacks. And Joker's just ran up the map, got the crack. It's just really easy for him so far. And with Piggyback as an option, he opts to break open the defensive switch. And it's a bit controversial, but hey, he's on the pros. He's going to jump in here. Joker's supposed to go pretty weak. A great stun there from Ye. He's a bit of a Lumi specialist, and it's his favorite brawler, but they just can't even break through.
This is the bad that's honestly gotten past the 3rd-yard line. Here, Totem's defense have just been absolutely stalwart up to this point, just winning all their matchups. Really, this is the first little bit of damage coming in there from Sandfire, but just pay attention to that right lane. Ye is the one that has to break through. They really want this to be a consequential push. The Joker is on the job there. Ye finishes it off, though. And that's a really, really good comeback so far from Talent Lab, but they're still so far behind.
Just works his way to a hypercharge, but Maro's got his own. He's going to completely delete Mewtwo. Just a few health points left, completely destroyed. Now Maro can easily get a crack onto the safe. Sunfly uses Shade Super to then try and get a crack himself, but now it's a 3 versus 2 on defense. Needs a hypercharge. Is going to help them out. A hypercharge from Lumi as well. Great defense from Talent Lab so far. And they might actually gain the lead. They've left Maru behind. They're trying to pinch out Joker. This is a base race here. Maru's still alive. Hypercharge pops. He's going to get 2 shots in at once. Sunfire is still fired away at the save. Oh, it was a draw there in the end, but Talent Lab managed to survive. That was great defense. I don't know how they survived that, but like I said, Ye on that Lumi with the hypercharge cleared them all out.
That's the danger of the Lumi on the safe, and that is why this brawler is so highly contested on pit stop. It does take a while to get on the safe, but Lumi has one of the fastest base race potential on this map, and that is what Talent Labs executed well. And kudos to them. They were behind by a entire 30% in the early game, and didn't really phase them in that effort. Not even going to this game, they're losing more lanes in the right again, but looks like their plan overall is coming together.
I think it's more of a slow burner, right? You'd think in some ways once Griff opens up the map, but with the piggy bank brutally getting really heavily nerfed, like he's only really breaking a couple of 3 tiles of rules, I would really say, at a time. So Sunfire needs to slowly build up his super. It's going to be hard for him, right? He has no range, and up against a Griff, but he's managing really well. There's 3 players pinching him out so far. I mean, Talent Labs are just like, okay, you can just go and do your business, Sunfire, like you did the last game. And we're just going to try and defend.
Yeah, the hate for Sapphire is real, but it is a lot of respect that's necessary. Good kill there from Joke is going to just open the floodgates. So much damage going to be coming in, but we've got a minor base race going on as Sapphire did manage to slip through on the other side. It is Totem, though, that are leading the charge now. 2 shielding layers down for the moment, and Joker is still holding strong on the safe. Can't even slip out of there. Ye couldn't pursue him in time. Gets the reset, and that's a big lead for Totem.
See whether Ye or Mewtwo can gain their hypercharges. This could be the key to success. Sunfire immediately going to go for the save. As he can as a Shade, it's just easy access. He's going to get another crack. Now Mewtwo with a Bear as well. Bear probably popped a little bit too soon, but it's going to tank a little bit. He didn't really have time to follow up, but Ye cleans up Joker in the meanwhile. Maro pops his super without a hypercharge, manages to get the kill either way. Mewtwo is without a Bear though. Totem should sense this. They need to go right now, but Ye is defending for his life. as well as Sunfire. Manages to get the kill onto Joker. And now Talent Lab's in a great position to win this one. Mewtwo's on the safe, but again without Bear, they're barely going to kill him.
Barely gonna kill him. Well said there, Sven. I mean, 17% left on Totem Saves third 3 on Talon Labs and only 20 seconds of time left. They must deal with two things at once. Has to stop Sandfire here. Can't get him across. The top there from Maru pushes him across the wall. Can't get this last one in. A little bit more damage trickles in. We've got 9 seconds left on the clock, but there's just no damage coming from Totem. A desperation attempt there from Joker. Jumps across the field there. Can't seem to get the damage through. All the damage being blocked and a shielding lever to boot as well. And that's going to be Talon Labs taking a set.
That's just insane. I mean, that came down to two things. It came down to Yeye on the Lumi. If you do your research, I know it's pretty hard with a player like this, but pro players will know these players inside out. They would have played against them in Match Arenas, qualifiers. Even on Lumi, and as well for Sunfire.
Mamă, se joacă bine, mă, bine acolo, bine acolo. Mamă, ce-au revenit în cavaș.
Would the kid have been better in the end? The one that we wanted to see, or even a berry you mentioned too.
Mamă, ce-au revenit în cavaș gura voastră.
But Talent Lab with the better comp, they played it super well in the end. The double defense, Sandfire, do your thing actually worked out.
Yeah, I was looking at Sunny. I was like, is she gonna mention the kid again? Are we gonna go back and basically...
Mamă, ce revenire în cavaș.
Because we all saw it. We all felt, okay, there's a few options here. Kid is decent because there's a, odd interaction, jump into the shade while he's inside the wall, jump on your teammates, do a whole bunch of damage. Thrower, as you said, is a common counter between that Nita and the shade. But looking at the stats, what I'm surprised at is that even leaving those two brawlers unaddressed, it was Yeye.
Look at the damage he saved Sandfire did more than the entire roster.
Oh, that's true.
Together. That's insane what he did on that shade. And not to take away from them either, but I noted down here, if I ever play in the monthly finals, I'm just gonna copy for esports comps and I can maybe win.
I mean, potentially. 2 out of 3, right? I mean, they didn't go for the kid. Maybe they didn't feel that they had, I don't know, Nob's aura. But I think Nita Bear's idea kind of baited Totem into this false sense of security, thinking to themselves, maybe we'll go kid, maybe we'll go this. You know what, we'll pick Grip and lose anyways. Well, they're going to have to leave it behind them in the past. We're headed over to out in the open. And whose map is this?
This is Totem's map. Totem's map.
So they should win, right?
I mean, they should. But Totem... We saw
it
them.
Is 1-1. It's not like they're down in the dumps.
We saw this in the previous monthly final. They just love out in the open no matter what. A lot of pros do love them. So again, they're copying foot. I mean,
well, their logo colors are half foot, right?
Yeah.
So
they're the best.
We're reaching now. Naja's gonna get picked up as first pick once again, and I'm having flashbacks again. I'm just saying, it is a strat to just copy what esports comes out in the open was played. Foot versus Kumatsu. They had Naja, 8-Bit, and Nina. Let's see if those are going to pop up here. We do have the same, those rollers actually left open. Totem is making sure that they don't get the entire foot comp. They pick 8-Bit themselves. Now, don't think necessarily it's a copy. They did play him almost the most in their scrims. They have an 88% win rate with it. So at this point, I kind of fear with them. They usually pair it with either a Bolt, a Squeak, or a Byron, and the Byron it is.
Byron's got some great synergy with 8-Bit. You set up that turret, you get even more healing. So Lou to answer to the 8-Bits. I mean, is Kit coming right now? Is it Kit?
Yeah.
Kit. I mean, he can pair really well with the Lou, actually, to confirm some damage. But now we need a bit of aggression. I mean, we've seen Leon, but that's fanned out. But we need a bit of aggression here from Talent Labs. I'm thinking, I mean, Buster could be one against this 8-Bit if you all group up together. It's tough for Mina. Okay, Mina again. I thought bro, gone. That's 2 out of 3 again.
I mean, you asked for something aggressive, and conceptually it does work. And after looking at what Angel Boy did, I think you'd be pretty inspired yourself to go into it. But this is a much different environment, right, Sunny? I mean, it's not a Leon and a Pearl that you're really going into. It's an 8-Bit and a Byron. This is a much, I would think it's, better-ish matchup for the Mina to get through. So even though they don't have, the entire footage squad pretty good, yeah, but Meeple, it's still big around is definitely gonna make this Mina's life a little bit more difficult.
Magic of Meeple, the gadget is there to stop her. Rage Quit does the same thing. So whichever gadget that Meeple will pick, it's gonna be good into Mina. It's gonna have some stopping power. Both teams have a hard time to get into the mid though, especially the Ape is super slow. We don't have wall break. That's gonna be an interesting matchup where we really just need to hold on to those chokeholds on either side.
Interesting always to see an IB open comp that doesn't prioritize the tempo of getting into the mid. There's no wall break, there's no water walking. There is Amina though, so she will have instant priority, scout out the entirety of the team here. And Totem on the other hand, eventually will get into the mid as well.
See, I like this from Talent Labs. I'm not afraid to be aggressive, but that extra credits was so close to punishing them early on. Niger, it's a good secret pick here. I didn't come into this before traveling thinking that Niger would get too many plays, but it seems this is the perfect map for her, as she can just pinch easily around the walls, and especially when you get pinned back into spawn, as you see right there, perfectly getting the shot onto Maru. But Mari has his super set up already. Yutu's going to focus onto the easier matchup for him. He's going to try and get some easy super charge, because as the game starts to reach the latter stages, that loose super is going to be really critical for some control.
They're gonna have to try to deter Totem as long as possible. Sandfire going in for a really aggressive play, gets stunned there by the Rage Quit, and Joker comes in with the heals, keeping Maru alive, and with the smoke closing in, it's an inevitable slow, actually not that slow, quite agonizing death though, nonetheless, for Talent Labs.
Thought that Talent Labs maybe a little bit of a better chance of winning there. Sandfire's going to push open. Maru's going to get really weak. Now's a chance for Talent Labs to gain some control. A Victor is going to be put into a little bit more aggressive position, but a position where maybe Maru could have used a super in combination opts to keep it. Joker's going to get pinched out here. He's just one tap away. 12 health. Maru's going to body block for him as well. Joker's going to repay the favor and heal him back up. But you can't sense that there's a few glimpses where Totem could have probably died, but
For sure.
Talent Labs didn't capitalize on it.
Wow, that is why Joker is the GOAT. The absolute GOAT. He's going to be keeping Maru alive here yet again, just healing him up. He's so annoying on this fire. He's working overtime here. And he's allowing for his teammates to really shine here. Maru's going to be, once again, Rage Quit on the right, but no pinches from him. Maru, though, on the left. Lasers down. Yeah, goes so aggressive. Get another one. He wants a third. Not going to get it. His fellow brother is going to steal from him. Take away that little bit of glory, but wow. Totem are really amping up the team play here.
That was just hilarious to see. He just froze the 8-bit hypercharge onto his face. He's like, okay, I'm going to shoot one way. My hypercharge turret's just going to pitch with me. You're doomed. You're absolutely cooked. Talent Labs do have a glimmer of hope. They won the previous set. There's a few instances where they could have punished Totem, but this is the problem. When teams get to this position, I mean, the push here, Maru's really weak, and he's poisoned up. There we go. Finally, they capitalize on it. Good teams make you pay for those mistakes. Talent Labs are finally warming up here in this set.
Amazing.
He's free right now. He's going to be trying to get some supercharge here. It is tapping away.
Maru
He's
crazy.
healing up Maru still.
Joker
There is a
whisper.
very
Și
small possibility that they
Maru
can still clutch this one, but it's very, very slim. They're going to commit it though. Yeah, that's a sign. I mean, yeah, Sven, you're looking like, wow, they really want to either waste utility or they just believe that they can somehow this matchup.
They want this more than
Nasol.
anyone. I mean, they should be able to get his turret back. Actually hit many shots there. If you would have connected, you would have
Nici o șansă, frate, n-ai. No, nici o șansă.
in a situation here to
N-are, scape oala și se bage botul drept. No, Sandfire joacă, dar e troll mare. Jocul ăla e troll.
He's gonna go down.
No, și...
Even Joker's heals can't keep him alive.
Păi trebuia să pună eu, super de presiune și gata.
Maru trying to make something happen. Sandfire lurking in with Mina.
Na, nici o șansă.
I mean, Maru is just a poor little 8-bit, right? What can he do?
Nici o șansă ca TLP-ul să câștige. Na,
Really upped their game.
nu se coordonează, frate. Ăștia nu se coordonează. Ăștia doi sunt de toți banii aici. Nu se coordonează, n-ai mă cum. Hai mă, dacă era Gaki, poate băteau totemul, dar așa nicio șansă.
Let's see if they can bring this one home.
Pun puțină presiune pe ei, ce totemul și s-a dus, gata.
In this series, whoever goes to match point under so much pressure. Totem just playing so hyper aggressive. They're just really playing with fire there. Joker just demonstrating the sheer mechanical difference that he has. He's so confident in walking up into these larger shots, into Mewtwo here, and at the same time he'll try and keep his 8-bit alive.
Fii atent, presiune, uite, uite, uite. Uite presiunea, uite presiunea, uite presiunea. Uite ce am zis, uite presiunea.
They know they needed to get that kill down ASAP. Don't make Totem angry. They're
Uite presiunea, uite, uite, uite.
like crazy. Mewtwo barely stays alive here. Yeah, all he can really do is try to kill the position. He does good.
A pierdut aici, n-am nicio șansă.
A Niger hypercharge going into potentially a third round would be devastating. Let's see if he can land an A-shot. Doesn't manage to do so just yet. Mewtwo as well. He knows that going into
Degeaba.
extreme manner, he can feed the enemy supers, right? But if he gets a hypercharge as well,
Dacă era Gaki, poate mai câștigau, dar așa nicio șansă. 100.000, dacă era Gaki, câștiga, băteau totemul. Aici nu se coordonează, bro. Cei doi, adică cu Lu și cu Mina. Nu se coordonează deloc. Au pus-o în presiune, e gata, îți dus. Au pus presiune în aici. Uite, uite, uite. Uite, bam. Au pus presiune în aici. Ba, e insane, frate. N-ai ce să zici. Ăștia se coordonează, totemul se coordonează, n-ai cum. Dar ei nicio șansă. Au pus presiune pe ei. Nicio șansă. Și-au avut și combun. Dar uitați-vă ce presiune au pus pe ei. Da, aici au pus presiune frumos, aici e bravo. Dar după ce au făcut, s-au lăsat, s-au dus.
As a unit, punch as a unit, walk forward. You can tell that when someone dies, it's not because he was mispositioned. Maybe he trusts the Joker, and you know, a series of it just takes so much bad events to happen back to back for this to go on. And yeah, Maru really put his team on his back.
Ceva și după ce l-a fiut eu, l-a
We saw Mina here before in the snap, and she had a lot of a better matchup than into a 8-bit and a usual. That was really what shut Sci-Fi down. Without her, they couldn't really enter the map. They were pushed out so often. Really well played here by Reply Totem. They're now 2-1 up. One more match away from the semi-final.
Nicio șansă.
Talent Lab, they're out of postseason contention.
Va bate totemul, n-ai cum. Va bate totemul, cu siguranță va bate. Îl bate de usucă.
Their most pick roller is 8-bit, followed by Amina and Kids, interestingly enough. Two rollers that we've mentioned so
Îi bate de
often
usucă.
today.
this is a pick from Talent Labs. They're going with another, we mentioned it the first time in today's stream, cheesy map. Pit Stop, a map that's predominantly base race, right? Layer Cake as well. You normally see the shades, and Talent Labs have done their research. They've took the 8-bit out of Totem's hands there. So we can now go into an 8-bit. The problem is Layer Cake is good. 8-bit is good, but there's so many walls, right? Surely a throw is going to come into play here. I really like Berry into 8-bit.
I was just about to ask. Question: is 8-bit early bad? Question.
I think it's fine. 8-bit pretty good, even if you don't have anything to break up the map. But Talent Lab still has 2 picks to pick up something like a mid later on. Now, if you manage to take down his turret every time he actually farmed it, that's why Sven pointed out that thrower. I think you can counter him, but even then 8-bit does a lot of damage. He's just slow.
think with 8-Bit, it's like a tough one, right? Like, there are counters to him, but it's 8-Bit with his new buff. He just deals so much damage. He always has his turret available, even after a recent nerf.
Mai bine aliceam eu totem, că n-ai... Am crezut că se coordonează, bro, se... No, dar se coordonează un naiba. Se coordonează ăștia...
And wow, I mean, this is a tough prospect to go up against if you're Talent Labs. You could be sitting to go in Barley. Barley is always the best option to face off against Berry. But the problem with a Barley, both 8-Bit and Barley suffer to like an
correct. Very true. Barley would have a good, decent matchup here into the Berry on the other side. Whenever Talent Lab actually decided to go 8-Bit, they paired it with the Berry, so both sides kind of picking the brawlers away, and Berry will fulfill what you and I set up already.
Is this really your
Want
best?
something to take out that 8-Bit turret. Kaze coming in here, some aggression. I
N-au
like
nicio
that
șansă să ne
Berry
câștige.
better than the Barley actually.
I mean, it's really just for the blue star, right? Like, this feels very, very desperately like they just want to grab that blue star, come back, play from behind, turtle in the base, like what 8-Bits do. But, and also it's decent into the Berry. You always want to have an assassin to just pressure the Berry so he doesn't, he can't just play in aggressive positions and to play by himself. And that's going to force this whole response there from Totem.
That was a bit of a weird one. Like, I mean, it's going to work into the Kaze, for example, but 8-Bit counters out the Pell. I think what they needed was a bit of help, so they've gone with the Pell, right? So Berry gets more value for more supers. But it's a tough one, right? Because Kaze, we've seen the synergy before, right? Kaze gets the blue star, 8-Bit defensive combination. It can work out. But
like, how did they get into the base? How did they get the Talent Labs base here after Blue Star? That's the question on my mind.
You've got a Berry, you've got a Rico, the two bros that can get a lot of... Yeah, I think what a lot of players do, which we've seen yesterday with Kaze, you get the blue star and then you just sit in. I still feel like if you get blue star, you've got to try and get some value, which Senpai is doing perfectly well. It's like he's listening to me right now. You need to still build up the super and apply pressure, because Enrico can just shoot round balls, right? Like, he can just apply pressure himself. He's opting to use moves this time around. I think that's going to be a good choice into Meeple specifically, because of that single shot fire. So in other words, 2 pieces of ammo. Banshee for Meeple's going down. We have a super to combine it with, but they don't want to overextend because Mewtwo is weak. Very, very clever play there.
It's buying time, honestly, at this point. They now have to wait for another Mansions of Meeple before they can opt to play aggressive. And this is the problem that I kind of feel with Totem's comp here. They will be chasing Sandfire for the majority of the game, and the timings to play off is going to be on this Maru super. He does have it at the moment. You see Fanstorm committed together with the Mansions of Meeple, but zero connections. It's a golden opportunity now for Totem to potentially pressure into this base. Maru playing with fire here. Okay, Joker with a beautiful super, almost getting down one. How is nobody dead? Thank you. Finally, Mewtwo goes down.
Mewtwo trying to buy a kill, but into a Berry that's consistently healing his teammates up. It's hard for Meeple to do too much. He really lacks the damage in this situation. Sunfire trying to stop them from grouping up with that Fanstorm, but Hyperdrive's going to come out. Maru's going to get boxed in, but again, there's no super to combine with this. There's no super to take him down, but Maru again getting pretty weak. The pressure is great from Talent Lab so far. With 20 seconds left, this is setting out to be a...
Nicio șansă, mă, n-au... Nicio șansă. Sau... Hai că e bine, e bine! E bine! Da, mă, da, bine! Și-au revenit bine acolo.
How fast 8-Bit ran there. Like, that's the fastest he's ever ran. There was no one even on his tail. It was just clear day.
Mamă, ce-au revenit.
I don't know whether Totem pushed back too early.
Voi ce ziceți? Oare au șanse să câștige? Adică, nu, înțelegeți, să câștige TLB-ul? Scrieți în chat. Sunt curios ce părere aveți voi. Sau voi pe cine ați votat?
He knows as a Kaze he can't really go in. They're all grouped. One great kill from Mewtwo there. Joker tries to respond. It's pretty weak though. It's going to be hard for Talent Labs to find the kill. But they get a second as well. Maru's surely going to go down as well. No, manages to stay alive with the blue star intact. That is, it's a bit of damage limitation there.
Damage mitigation indeed. Poor start there from Totem. From now they are down by entire 3 stars. They still have the blue.
Bă, deci dacă stau calm ăștia noștri,
Sapphires gonna be going out here on
cred
the
că îl bat.
lane, though, trying to get an aggressive
Și
play
fac
on
2-2.
Maru, but they are starting to get boxed in against Venom. Not feeling very good right now.
Hopa!
Chances.
Dă-i!
There's two of them.
Dă-i, 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 dă-i. Uhu! Dar îl ține în viață, îl ține în viață, îl ține în viață. Tai! Mamă, ce presiune au băgat acolo. Bun, bine acolo, dar acum să și țină. Bun, bine! Bine acolo! Mamă, fac 2-2. Bine, mă, acolo, mă. Aia zic. Se poate, mă, se poate. Mă vezi acum dacă dau presiune ăștia pe ei, se bagă pe ei agresiv, îi cam s-am dus. Hooleo!
An amazing execution by Talon Lab.
Set 5. Who would have predicted this?
Mamă, 2-2. Și acum ultima zonă, hot zone-ul. Mă, nu cred așa ceva, deci dacă ajung ăștia în finală,
Talent Labs, they don't really have anything to play for either, but they've got a lot to prove and they're really making it.
cum ar veni, mă, să bată totemul?
I got chills watching the synergy between the team. Yeah,
Au prins aici bine, mă, aici, deci aici au prins foarte bine. Cum ar veni să piardă totemul? Și al noștri, adică ei să meargă mai departe, cum ar veni.
You're asking who would have predicted this. Keep in mind, the viewers out there said it's a 49 to 51% matchup, and they were actually right. I was hoping we get to see a 3-2 today. I might have not expected this one to go that far, but I'm happy regardless. Talent Lab, they played phenomenal. That meeple play from U2 held them to a super also in the first round, just waiting for the perfect moment to use it.
Cum ar veni, bro, să bat totemul. Practic asta e ultima calificare. Dacă aici totemul pierde sau altă echipă pierd, s-a dus.
And I'm gonna give the honor to our guest here.
Without further ado,
Doing the points for you out there, Talent Lab. You gave points to the viewers. We're heading into set 5 now. It's exciting. Dueling Beatles is going to be the last that we get to see from Talent Lab versus Reply Totem, no matter what happens next. Another map where you can play Barry, I think. Another map where you could see some 8-bits even. A map with a lot of walls to place turrets behind. Stu also comes in handy for those exact reasons. We saw some Hot Zone today already. Very different maps though. Grip was always the first pick. Let's see who comes out again.
Oh, Emma refund! You're so smart, son. You're so smart.
About to, I mean, it has.
Yeah, no ball, you know?
Yeah, no ball. No ball. So
No Hot Zone.
Dueling Beatles is an interesting one, right? Like, for me, it reminds me a lot like Open Business, and now it needs something that's going to counteract this. I mean, Stu normally is a great counter. Meeple can sometimes work into the grip as well. Lou is not banned out. Lou's 50-50 there goes to Meeple. Can I do the same as Sunny here? I'm going to predict.
Hai mă că se poate, hai mă că se poate acolo.
I've got two now. Wiggly.
Suppose your try.
What's on?
They're gonna go Shelly. Yeah, that's how you know.
You have to actually try.
I have to actually try. All right. I'm gonna dig deep. I'm gonna use my brain here. I'm looking at the Talent Labs comp damage department, not looking too good here. I'm feeling some Damians in the air. I think Joker did have an amazing performance there in Brawl Ball. Still could opt to go for it here. But Sunny is pointing out to me that Sirius is still open, so maybe that's a terrible idea from side of Totem. Nah, they're gonna go for Finks instead. Opt to just lean back into that wall break comp, but this is very familiar to something we saw.
Deci, practic, dragilor, eu am completat ăsta, cum ar veni. Adică,
We saw so many great comps yesterday. I kind of have PTSD from that too. Not going to be big tier in this one, but you can be sure you're going to see it later, especially paired with the ends. That it is, of course, banned out in this one. A wide open map here for the side of Totem. I'd almost double down on wall break, but there's not a lot left open. Stu is banned out. There's the series that I pointed out to Spoo earlier.
Cum ar veni, eu am completat asta
And he's also
și am
not
primit
too bad
pinul.
to Meeple and Lou, in my opinion. Whoever you can farm up supers easily, and whoever's shadows are going to be the strongest. Meeple shadows are so strong because they have sort of an auto aim, right? So it makes a lot of sense to play heroes here.
Deci dacă aici totemul sau TLB-ul pierde, vom închide live-ul, că deja eu practic am făcut cum ar veni. Adică am făcut rost de pin, dar acum sper, doar sper să câștige, nu știu, habar n-am, ori TLB-ul ar fi tare, dacă ar câștiga TLB-ul, ar fi wow. Uite-l pe băiatul nostru, mă, pe ei.
But this one, though, is a big sign for the 2027
Hai să
season
vedem.
for sure. Talent Labs, as we've already mentioned, don't really have a postseason to play for. Totem, though, they're locked in for Worlds, but Pride and Ego are still on the line here. They are on the ropes here, going up against this monstrous Bali last pick, and the Lu Super only going down here, isolating that right side of the map. It's a decent start there for Talent Labs.
Murray needs to keep its position ASAP. He's got great control over Talent Labs, but the percentage is definitely in Talent Labs' favor. Joker's going to apply a lot of pressure. Sometimes going to find the kill. He is pretty weak here. Murray should find the kill. Maru as well onto the zone, doing a great job overall. U2 is pushed up, but as a Bali, that's probably a bit advantageous there. He's going to get pitched out pretty easily. Yeah, just needs to heal up. They need to regroup together. Matches of Meeple combined with a Bali Super. Maori just barely staying alive. He is going to get pitched down by U2 himself with his own Super. Joker's going to teleport backwards. It's a great teleport so far. And Totem are just doing great percentage-wise here as the loose Super comes in as a bit of a reply there from Talent.
Totem solution to any problem. There's raw aggression from their side. Joker, though, will be boxed in there, and the combo there from the Meeple should be able to finish one off. No, Maru's going to be able to break his teammate out there. It was a great hits-up play for him to keep Joker alive. Percentage, though, is telling a different story. Talent Labs are slowly counting back up, and here are the supers from both sides. Last call is committed, so is the time zone from Joker, but that's such a desperate push there from Totem. Talent Labs will now just so
Mamă, nu cred așa ceva, cred că va bate sau
means so much danger for Totem. Great box out there. Surely we've got to confirm the kill onto one of these guys, and they'll confirm this game. Surely Hypercharge Super used by U2. They need to get the kill onto Joker here. They're going to do just that with a Hypercharge, and now with 12% left, there's surely no time, no resources left for Totem, and now Talent Labs are just one game.
Mamă, nu cred așa ceva.
The impossible. As a team, as a unit, I was reading the pro Discord, and a lot of them were saying, no chance, no chance.
Bă, oare va bate? Ce ziceți?
There is a chance, but the viewers back home, they knew there was a chance, right? This is as 50-50 as it gets.
And looking at the comp, it's looking here, at least in this final set, the Talent Lab, they've got a pretty unbreakable comp there. I mean, the margin of error is so small for Totem, right? Like, if there's a single team wipe that happens, you just get boxed in the base so easily by this Bali, by this Meeple, by the loose supers. And I think Totem, I mean, they're really got to dig deep here. They've got to find a way, mechanically, team play-wise, to pull it together here. It's going to start from Maori playing hyper-aggressive as always. Not getting punished just yet. Solo, and it's a really, really nice early start there for Totem at least.
There's just two ways to gain back control here. Actually, three ways for Talent Labs. You've got the box, you've got the loose super, and you've got the flush out from the Bali super as well. Mori's going to get a little bit of control there. Fra is super, but it's Griff. Griff really likes the damage at range now since that spread nerf. And you even saw there before, great flush out from U2 there, that he couldn't even break out Joker in the previous game, because now with the nerfs to Piggy Bank, it's just so hard to break open the map. Piggy Bank's going to be thrown forward though, and this is looking like disaster for Totem. Talent Labs just look so in control right now.
There's just entry hazard after
Nu pot să cred că bate Totemul, nu n-ai cum așa ceva. Totemul nu o să se califice la World Final.
really going into all of these
Că practic asta e ultima ăsta, cum ar veni.
They try to step on the point. There's a box. There's puddles. Yeye's even going to pop this ice ring out there. Could he catch him in the back? He does. That's going to be Maru potentially going down. But now don't even need to aggress forward. Just play the point.
Nu cred așa ceva. Se califică, mâncavaș.
On the ropes now.
Merg mai departe.
Now Maru's trying to work his magic. He's going to get pinched down pretty low. Totem now on the aggressive. Blue Super's going to stop any aggression coming so far. But there's only 1 minute left on the clock. The box and the Super coming in. That is Joker down as well. Mewtwo's throwing out the Hybrid.
Nu cred așa ceva. Au bătut-o mâncavaș cura voastră.
Confirming the win. Everyone is down from Totem. Oh my god. How?
Au bătut totemul. Au bătut totemul. Bă, au bătut totemul.
You've got to be so angry if you're Totem, right? You turn a new corner, you look so good, reaching a grand final, reaching a semi-final as well. And the new boys, they just turn off all the cameras. They've had enough. They must have seen the crying. Oh no.
Au bătut totemul, nu cred așa ceva.
Alright, bro. I mean, there's a limit before the stars.
Au bătut totemul.
Oh, wow, I mean, yeah, and Sandfire, let's give a kudos to them as well. We want to point out once again that this is a team that had their roster kind of, last minute change. They lost the Darchi, Mewtwo had to sub in. You're thinking, there's no way this happens. And it did.
The teams that are chasing the world final spot from Noble right now are Heretics, Navi, Kumala Sylvester, and Big. Now imagine how funny it would be if in the end those teams drop out and the team like Talent Lab moves all the way. They have nothing on the line, just playing for fun and for showing us what they actually have in them for the first time ever in a monthly final, and they beat the number
Nu pot să cred așa ceva. Efectiv au bătut-o, bă! N-ai cum, bă, n-ai cum așa ceva insane. Au bătut totemul.
I am proud of you guys. I'm sad for Totem, but hey, nothing's gonna change in the standings anyways, right? It's fine. We want this for some good
Bă, au
times.
bătut totemul acolo, nu cred.
Possibly. They will be drafting from the same pool, right? That's basically Talent Labs, the first half of the series.
Contra Feuty nicio șansă. Deci contra Feuty
And then the second half they were like, wait, we're really
nicio șansă contra Feuty, bro. N-au. Contra Feuty nu o să aibă ăsta. Au eliminat totemul, mâncava-și gura voastră.
We get Art back on the desk. All four of us.
Au eliminat totemul.
49% of the viewers out there actually voted for Talent Lab, so they get some juicy points now to get the rewards.
Well, I think Totem should have beaten them. It's as simple as that. No, not too sure why it went so wrong for them here today. They were looking pretty good. I mean, the qualifiers weren't.
Mâncava-și gura voastră. N-ai cum așa ceva. Efectiv au eliminat totemul. Vă vine să vă credeți?
So, I mean, going ahead now, they've got to work on some things.
You can still also get some
Da. Aia zic. Încă nu pot să cred să-mi bag piciorul dacă vă mint. Bă, nu pot să cred. Efectiv, nu pot să cred că au bătut totemul, bro.
Social media posts all over the Brawl Esports social media accounts. Now, 2 quarterfinals down. We still have 2 more to go. After that, 3 more semifinals, grand finals. We have so many bangers for you today. Make sure to stay tuned here. Humble
Nu, e
versus
ceva
Big is our
incredibil
next
să-mi bag
match.
picior.
This
Deci efectiv,
one,
e ceva
another
incredibil.
one where we have a team that could lock in LCQ
N-ai
today.
cum așa
If
ceva au
they make
bătut.
it through
Wow.
semis, they are guaranteed.
Wow, ceva wow, efectiv, ceva wow.
Big has to
Ceva wow.
make a deep run today to actually lock in either of those 2 possibilities. And
Hai,
unfortunately for them, to do that, they need to first make it through quarterfinals against the number 2 seed in EMEA.
Postseason gatekeepers is what I call Humble in this position. They could really put a beat in them, but just make Big's life easier. kind of a free pass. Nah, we're not doing that. Now that Epic Kuma are out, Big most certain we can just surge into that lead and start overtaking them. And with not inheritance meeting later in the bracket, as you mentioned, if they make it to semi-finals, that's a guaranteed LCQ spot on the line for them. That is a massive amount of motivation for Big to play for here.
For me, Humble, have shown signs in the past, going back to the April monthly finals, where they can slip in monthly finals against Kuma Lab, South and Wester. And that was a clean sweep against them. Their quarterfinals exit that they were so notorious going into the Brawl with on their record. At the same time, which they actually went to double match point within their qualifiers this month. For Big, I have some reservations. I just think that doing roster changes this late in the season, going into your last monthly final when they were looking really good for me, honestly. They were showing real signs of growth and even beat for esports in the July qualifiers. So I don't know. I'm hoping for them to do a really deep run here today. But they're taking a big risk. They're looking to double down effectively, to have the challenges opportunity by bringing Arthur there, swapping with Salty. I think it makes some sense, but it's a huge risk.
Big, actually, the winners of the EMEA, of the Challengers finals, so they have a different approach, and they made a strategic decision to split the roster into a BSC team and a Challenger team. So going forward, Big will compete with two rosters, competing with the Brawl Stars Championship, it's just called Big, then Big Challengers, competing in the Challengers circuit. So they still have 3 players they sent to Istanbul, and they now bring in Day Day to complete that roster with Salty and Melee to compete today. As mentioned already, they need to actually make it to semis and win it to really have that LCQ slot locked in for Worlds. They just need to win it all. It's actually crazy how if you win this monthly final, it's their only monthly final win, and they would still lock in Worlds. Absolutely insane.
They have Foot and Humble to thank for that. EMEA has how many slots on the planet? 6 slots for the postseason, 4 for Worlds. Otherwise, this wouldn't even be a conversation, really. I mean, but this is the strongest and the most competitive region for a reason. Every single team that has made it to either a first or second finish in the monthly final is still in contention, and it's no different here. If Big win it all, they really could make headline news here, going to Worlds at the last second.
It could happen. I'm not sure whether it will, but I hope to see some really interesting storylines develop this monthly final, because this region, honestly, as we saw in the previous match, you never really fully know how it's going to go down. We've got our map draft coming in. Big will be going with Gold Arm Gulch first, with Canyon then for Humble, bringing fire for Big. Pinhole Punt then for Humble coming forward. So, I mean, one thing's for sure is that Big have got a really nasty opposition. Humble have locked in their number 2 seed. That will not change going into the World Finals. And like you said, there's no way that Humble are going to be giving this to them on the platter.
Again, it would be somewhat ironic if Talent Lab is the only team from these that actually moves out of the quarterfinals. For the esports, Reply Totem and Humble, they've locked in their seed. Nothing can change anymore. Even if Humble wins it all today, Foot is still going to stay number 1 seed. For Big and Kuma, this means everything right now. Kuma is already out of contention. Big has to win this one. It means so much to them. The motivation is certainly there. Gold bands coming in now. Ruffs, Mag, band out from the side of Humble. Crow and Lumi from the side of Big. And I think you notice something here. Bold left open. Starnova left open. Very targeted dance. But all of these big, bad new brawlers still in the race.
I'm quite scared now for Humble. I don't know if this is cooking a little bit too hard. This is really reminiscent back to April. Every single time a new meta comes in, a new patch comes out, and Humble are thinking to themselves, we're pretty comfortable about it. We're just a better team. We can get away with allowing these things to slip through. And on the other hand, the underdog, always, every single time, the way that I've seen underdogs win is not necessarily by overpowering your opposition through sheer team play or mechanics alone. It's really a lot about the draft. That's what I think I saw in Talent Labs in the last 3 sets. And here in Big, I think that's going to be their greatest weapon against Humble. The Humble army is pretty big.
Well, that's what happens when you're the number 2 seed going to the World Finals. 2024 World Champions, runners up in 2025. I don't think it's crazy to see these numbers stacking on the side of Humble, considering what Big have to do here. I don't necessarily mind it. It's not necessarily like what I want to see. I want to see it be a bit more 70-30 at the least, right? That's kind of being I think fair end of the situation because Big can do this. It's just that they got a lot of things against them.
Humble has a huge chance today, anyways, because in the last two monthly finals of this split, they always faced with esports in the semis already. Now, finally, they're on opposite sides of the bracket, and Humble can make it to the grand finals before facing with esports. Let's see if they make it that far. We're heading into our first round. Humble versus Big. Big with a new player. Let's see how Dede is gonna do in this roster now. Semantic with the first pick here. Humble, Bend out Great Hyper, and Max. Naja is gonna be the first pick here. A role we have seen quite often today, way more often than in East Asia, always on knockout. Tick coming in here on the right hand side. Great pick, usually. We didn't see it in quite some time, and obviously you can still break open the map pretty quickly with a Cold left open. Pearl still an option here. Cold is left open. I'm scared.
There is a Charlie to deal with this. I want to believe that Humble will not roll into this trap. I think it is a trap that is set up there by Big. Tempt them with the ball and maybe come in with a clutch, last pick here to deal with it. Tick though, super old school. I mean, I wish Spen was here so that we could talk about how old this comp is for them. It still does work, but I think in the modern day, with so much wall break, so much wall peek from the Naja, this pull coming in is a great first option for them. And even with Russ and Brock banned out, there is still the option of Colt and Griff on the planet if they want to really commit to just opening up the map.
Got to be a Gene here for me, I think. That would be a nice way to round this off, to allow the Pearl and Gene to get that poke damage, sit back, allow the Naja to try to connect those danger noodles at range. I don't feel the Bolt is an option. Like I said, I feel that Charlie's always the terror. And very similar to Gene in effect. It could be a Brawler, which actually now they want to consider on the side of Big. But honestly, I'm not a fan of Tick. It's a Brawler that in knockout just cannot survive those later interactions in the trying to figure out numbers. It's already full of kind of everything magical.
Let's see if they're gonna roll into that bold pick now. As last pick, he is left open. He's strong. Not the best on knockout, but could still work out here into the J and Naja at least. Last pick here for the side of Big. Oh, we have the Charlie to deal with anything aggressive. Have the Tick. That is good to just make sure you have some room to play around. 8-bit coming in now also needs walls. They just need to make sure that Pearl doesn't farm super too quickly to break open the map, and I actually believe both of these two drafts are very viable.
Somehow Big 2-3 picked the Tick and allowed it to not get it completely hard counted here. It looks like Humble here are playing a little bit more modern theory here, but that could be their demise, in my opinion, at the very least. This Big roster, 2 anti-tanks covering the Tick, very classic kind of control matchup, and they've got all to play for here. LCQ Dreams, World Dreams, still alive, and it begins here in Goldam Gulch.
Okay, well, early scouting on that far right-hand side from Big, and both sides more or less dedicating their time. Samantha forced back now as the range of Silky does get a couple of taps. Does not want to overextend here. Allow Luke to try to get some of his corner shots working more in his favour. As time goes on, I feel like it does tend to favour Humble with that regard. Pearls will be much more punishable
Au bătut-o.
in those later.
Atât că nu mai are rost.